we need to weigh the options and the resources that is available to us, because financing healthcare is always a challenge. And when you are focusing on free health, it's the vulnerable segments of your population that you should focus on. So for us, it's our children, the under 5, the over 65, the pregnant women, and the physically disabled. So for all those categories, we provide full service free healthcare program. We do not neglect those who do not fall within those categories as well, but we tend to really focus on them through our quarterly health missions. We organize health missions in the state that has been responsible for treating over 500,000 people. And if you look at our health indices, which is the best measure, we have some of the best health indices in Nigeria today. Certainly we have the highest life expectancy in the country.
Really?
Ekiti does.
So we have the 1890 56.
Yes, we do. This is not my indices. This is the national health indices. We have the lowest HIV prevalence in the state, in the country.
I met someone yesterday who attributed that to eating loads of pounded yam.
I don't know about that. It may also be lifestyle and discipline and all that.
Yes.
And also maternal mortality and child mortality rate are some of the lowest in the country.
Reduced. Now, Excellency, would you yourself use these health services, which you say you have worked on heavily?
Oh, I use them. My personal physician is from here.
Okay, that's encouraging. We haven't heard of you flying abroad for checkup yet.
No.
Because I always think, and this is my own opinion, that if a governor claims that he's doing a lot regarding health, he should be the first example that he is doing something. He should be the first person to go and use those services and encourage others. Look what I have done, I'm using it. So instead of going abroad, come and use the facilities here.
Well, for me, I think we do have a duty when we're in public service to demystify the exaggeration around power.
Oh, it's exaggerated, is it?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of superficial honorifics and exaggeration, even right from the title, Your Excellency, and all those noise-making things. But to the substantive point you've made, yes, if you have undertaken these things, you should be able to use the facilities freely. And in my case, I do use the facilities available for us in Ekiti.
Yes, you said something that I'd like to pick you up on in terms of the financing of the health sector, and I guess financing of the education as well. Where does your fund come from? Give us an idea of how you fund all those things, because the facts remain that Ekiti State is not one of the richest in terms of federal allocation.
Well, we may not be rich in terms of federal allocation, but we're robust and rich in terms of our creativity and innovation. And I believe that is precisely what makes a difference in governance. It's not the amount of money, it's the use to which you put what is available to you. And we were very clear. We knew when we were running for office here that Ekiti was not awash with oil money. We had done our calculations when we were making the pledges to the people. So it would amount to excuse for inaction, in my view, if I was to come into office and I started with the mantra that, oh, you know, we don't have money, Ekiti is number 35 on the revenue ladder, that is why we can't do anything. That is true, but you also have to demonstrate the capacity for possibilities, and that's what we've done essentially.
So where is the money coming from?
We have our FAC, yes, you're right. That's not a lot of money. Everybody knows that it's published. It oscillates between 3 billion, 3.5 billion on a monthly basis. Our IGR is about 500 million naira on a monthly basis too. And when you take out what we pay to civil servants and teachers and the running of government, a significant chunk of that money goes into that, at least 3 billion, if not more.
How much do you end up spending? Let's take facts and figures now. How much do you end up spending on recurrent expenditure? Recurrent expenditure on a monthly basis, how much do you end up paying as salary?
Or what percentage?
What percentage of the 3-point-something billion end up as money that is used for paying salaries?
For paying salaries, that is 2 billion.
About 2 billion. So you have just under 1.5.
Well, we even have less than that because we have other operational costs. But we have also factored those challenges into our overall governance framework. And that's why we're very, very robust in our relationship with development partners. When I became governor here, virtually all the development partners who are not in the state returned to Ekiti State. You could say that that has to do with the fact that I have a relation, I have an experience in that sector as a development person. But it's also because of the confidence that we've introduced into government, the transparency and the fact that they can check all the books, they know where we stand on these issues. So the World Bank is there, the African Development Bank is there, the UKAID, European Union, a whole range of development partners are funding various segments of our work: water, education, infrastructure, governance, and a whole lot of that. But also, we went into the capital market. We went to the capital market specifically to raise funds for our infrastructural projects, regenerative infrastructure projects. People talk a lot about Ikogosi now, and over the Yuletide season, over 20,000 people visited Ikogosi. And don't forget, this was the place that was the residence for reptiles and all sorts of stuff before I became governor. Now it's a cynosure of all eyes. Everybody wants to come there, and we haven't even finished what we have in store for Ikogosi.
Okay, Your Excellency, if...
I'm sorry, let me just go back to health.
Yes.
Before we leave it all together. You have done all this work in the health sector. How easy is it for the market woman, for instance, to go to a hospital and use these services? Are the fees not enough to break her back and for her to go and break the bank?
I don't think so. It depends on what the market woman is going into the hospital for and whether the market woman qualifies for the free health services. If the market woman is pregnant, for example, all she needs to do is register.
She pays nothing?
She pays nothing because she's qualified for that.
Okay.
And if she gets referred either for cesarean section or anything like that, which cannot be handled at the primary health center level, to say the teaching hospital that Kayode was talking about, that for payment gets transferred to government. So every month we get a bill from the teaching hospital for all of our free health patients that had been referred to them, and we then pay the teaching hospital for that. So that's what happens. Well, if it's somebody who does not fall within the age bracket or the category of free health, clearly the person would have to pay something. And the fees are reasonable. They're certainly better than what obtains at the private hospital.
Any plan for any health insurance?
We already have health insurance. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. The state has just started health insurance with the National Health Insurance Scheme, because sustainability is very critical to us. At the end of the day, having done all of what we've done, if we're not able to sustain it via the community health insurance scheme and health insurance for the formal and informal sector of the population, then we wouldn't have made any appreciable progress.
Okay, let me come back to the issue of financing, because I had an opportunity of speaking with some people in opposition and some people who are close to Mr. Governor. One of the things that's being raised is the fact that they're asking the question, how many times has the Ekiti State government gone to the bond market? How much loan have you taken, and to what effect?
Good question. We've only been to the bond market once, but the bond market operates in tranches. We went to the bond market to raise 25 billion naira in December 2011. And these were project-specific funding support. the balance of that 5 billion naira, of that 25 billion naira, because we took 20 billion,